we continue to follow today, but the other thing that tends to circulate around online more and
Yes.
more are scams,
Right. And we
especially
know,
those targeting elders.
yeah, and we know June is Elder Abuse Awareness Month, and we cannot hit this topic enough because we know it affects so many Ohioans on a yearly basis. And happening tomorrow, JP Morgan Chase, they are putting on a community event, basically a workshop for older people in Central Ohio to learn all about the potential risks out there when it comes to elder abuse and getting scammed, because really they go hand in hand at this point. So joining us right now, we have Marlon Platt. He's the community manager at JP Morgan. Hi there. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So we're talking about, I mean, AI now can do a number of things. We're talking about cloning voices, sounding like loved ones, sending messages via text that even sound real. Talk to us more about this workshop that's being hosted tomorrow and what you hope that the people attending take away from it.
So tomorrow's workshop is going to cover a variety of things around avoiding fraud and scams and really protecting yourself as well as your family. What we're hoping to do is to empower and educate the community. We don't want people living in fear. Fraud and scams are happening, but we want people to be educated and be able to identify things that may tip them off or be a red flag as to what can be a fraud and scam and what to do if they notice a fraud or scam or if they're a victim of a fraud and scam.
And what are some of the biggest red flags that family members need to communicate with their loved ones about?
Trying to be persuaded by urgency. So anytime somebody is trying to speed you up, to have you give information, whether it's through fear, maybe they're pretending that somebody is arrested and you need to get them out of jail, or if there's been an accident, or pretending that there is a prize, pretending that you've won something. And a lot of times if those things sound too good to be true, they probably are. So what we encourage people to do is to really just slow down, take your time before giving out any personal information, and also be mindful of any kind of request for sending specific money. And so whether it's through gift cards, whether it's through wires, whether it's through crypto, any kind of specific money request, you definitely want to be mindful of.
And time again, we hear from, for the people who do come forward, that a lot of times they're embarrassed to admit that they fell for this because it's a personal thing, right? A lot of people end up, losing money or resources somehow over this. When it comes to that embarrassment factor and to that it's important to come forward and say, hey, this happened. What do those conversations look like when it comes to talking with family members about this?
Well, the first thing is to make sure that they know that they are a victim of a fraud and scam, that it's nothing to be embarrassed about. Unfortunately, those numbers continue to go up year over year. But the only way we can try to counteract it is to, one, come forward, two, to express exactly what happened, and then report it to the proper authorities, and also to let friends and family know what things are going on so they can start to be on the lookout as well. And so we always talk about the power of reporting, bringing that information to the authorities, or if you have any kind of questions, to go ahead and come into the bank. But the first step is really coming forward if something should happen and being okay in that and not feeling like, you're a bad person or, because really you're being taken advantage of and it's not your fault.
So Chase is encouraging people to have a trusted contact person. What is this exactly? How does it work? And why can it be such an important tool in preventing this type of problem?
So really it's somebody who would be just a general contact if there's any kind of unusual activity on the account, or if you have elders and maybe you're a care provider, something's going on with their account, that's somebody that can be contacted to verify that information and assist that elder or assist that person that they're supporting. And so it just really creates a trusted system so that if there is something that comes up, there can be an open line of communication for a family member or a confidant in the institution, whether it be the bank or the authorities, to help identify any kind of financial exploitation or scams of any kind.
All right. Marlon Platt with JP Morgan Chase. Thank you so much for joining us here on The Big Picture. Once again, this Elder Scam Workshop previewing event, or this Elder Scam Workshop event is coming up June 24th from noon to 1 at Chase Bank there on New Albany Road in New Albany. So great way to learn about some of the things that are out there because they've gotten so much more advanced. We've talked about this time and time again that scams are not, the Egyptian prince scams that used to go around the email. They've gotten so much more tricky in
Cloning
voices. And I mean, we know that someone was scammed by somebody, Yolanda talked about this. Somebody cloned her and scammed somebody out of money.
That's crazy.
So
but it's happening.
It is. But all right. So